Welcome, friends. Welcome to today's Reconsider It live stream. Best live stream you're going to see all day. Here on today's Reconsider It live stream, you are getting a tinkering with knobs variety. Which means over the next hour, I'm going to be evolving and improving the sounds that I have programmed into my loopers. This bass sound, these other sounds that I have. I'm going to be evolving this one in particular that you're hearing now over the next hour or so. If you are new, to the Reconsider It live streams, welcome. You made a good decision joining us. You belong here. My regulars know what to expect. I see synth seekers in the place already. My man is one of my regulars. Synth seeker says, I'm full of turkey. Full of turkey and ready to dance it off. E-Dub also joining us. Both synth seeker and E-Dub wishing us some Black Friday tidings. Welcome, E-Dub. Now, regardless of whether you're a regular or you are new, you know that here in this warm-up phase, as we get ourselves situated and warmed up, we are hanging out to this beat that I made before. We know that. This one is an F sharp. That's what we're spending the next probably hour or so putzing around with, making the sounds different. Although I'll be honest with you, I'm actually pretty happy with this one as it is. This was one of my favorites that I had of all time. Probably my top 3. So I don't know how much I'm going to be changing on this one. Probably more than 0. But this one might not take a full hour. So I guess we're going to... The stream itself, the organization of the stream itself, that also is being freestyled. But here in the warm-up phase, there's one simple action, one easy thing that you need to do for yourself right now to make sure that you're ready, you're fully prepared. You're fully prepared to get the most out of this stream. That action is very simple, my friends. Please grab yourself a drink. I have some water. Whatever you may be drinking, whatever it is, whatever time of day it is by you, Grab your drink. Friends, right now we're going to do a warm-up practice cheers. Even Trusto had to come in real quick for this one. Trusto and I are going to have a much more extensive conversation very soon. He can see the smile creeping across my face as I even allude to it. But friends, we are doing our practice cheers, and you are just feeling so capable and ready at this time. Look at all, just experience that sense you're feeling, that you have got this, that you can handle this. Look at how you're feeling that in yourself. You can feel it in your body. Friends, I'm going to count to 3. We're going to do it. We are going to have some very nice cheersing. It's going to be very, very good. And it's still just the practice cheers. That's the best part of it. Starting like this, my friends. 1. 2. Friends, join me for the practice cheers on 3. Clink. Cheers, my friends. Oh boy. That is just very refreshing. Friends, thank you for succeeding along with the rest of us in this just practice warm-up cheers. You did a really good job of that. That portends well for the rest of this stream. Please like this video. Friends, we are doing a Tinker with Knobs stream at this time. Shouting out Trusto having joined us in the place. Symptoms of Reality as well. Hi, friends. We got some cheers and some clinks and all this coming in the chat. This is really good. The energy levels right now are exactly what it's hitting the spot for you right now. So here in this Tinkering with Knobs stream, I'm going to be fiddling with this sound palette, which I'll bring in full blast right now. Messing with that one. As I was saying earlier, this is one of my favorites. It's not perfect, so I'm going to be doing more than 0 to it. But I don't know that I'm going to be going as deep and changing all sorts of stuff as I do in some other ones. We'll see, though. Who knows? Maybe I'll discover something really awesome, and you'll be able to say, oh, I was there. I was there when he did that. I was there live when he did that. It was really nice. It was good. It was awesome to see it happen. I was there. You'll be able to say that. It'll be really good. Also, to my people who are joining us after the stream, watching on replay, you are also seeing it as it happens. Tracker Jack is into plays, yeah. Yeah, so for everybody who is currently in the chat, I think it is, I'm double checking real quick. I think it's all of us. Everybody who's in the live chat right now. We're all in this Symptoms of Reality extended fam doing this collaboration project. Now, I do not have a full list of everyone's pairing memorized at this time, but you know yours. Friends, I encourage you to put your pairing in the chat. Put your pairing in the chat, my friends. Is anybody's partner here right now? He said with a smile on his face. Tracker Jack says, I am with Anna. One of the things I'm interested in learning is how everybody just logistically, technically carries out the collaboration. There are a lot of ways that it can happen, that you can do it. Synthseeker and E-Dub? What? Really? You guys got paired? Dope. Yeah, I'm interested to hear, like, just how do you plan it? How do you carry it out? Do you send each other raw stems of songs? Do you try to do some kind of live collaboration? Oh, whoops. Oh, Symptoms of Reality, you're singing. Synthetic and Jaren or Garen? I want to pronounce it right. Yeah, I got paired with Trusto. Yeah, smile on my face. It's going to be nice. We are going to figure out how on earth we're going to do that. Sounds like we'll have a Zoom. I have some ideas. And for Trusto, one preview of my idea, just because this may change your thinking before we have our Zoom today. I'm not sure who it was. It might have... Tracker Jack, was it you? I'm not sure who it was. Somebody in the Discord said that you can load things into one of the 505s. Like a sound, you know, a wave file. And I'm not sure that I've done that before, but I believe that's correct. So, Trusto, what this means is, whereas I told you that I'm limited by the loopers and I have to start in order to get a beats per minute and make loops out of it, it sounds like that might not be true, question mark. So you have the opportunity, if you want, to be the one who sets down the drum layer, and you can send me a loop of it. We can talk more during our Zoom. But yeah, this project's gonna be really cool. I'm looking forward to what everyone does. For anybody who's not in on that and the past, 3 to 4 minutes, you're like, what are you talking about? You might have gathered there's some kind of collaboration of something. So there's a group of us, I believe it's 24 if I recall correctly. And we're all just some YouTube musicians. Mostly synthy, hardware-y type of people. Not entirely though. And we all put our names in a hat, figuratively and literally. Drew names yesterday, less than 24 hours ago. So there's still this smiley faced buzz, which is really cool. It's cool that the event is happening, but it's even cooler that our little community has a thing that has buzz to it. That is even cooler. So I'm excited to see not only what everyone else does, but what me and Trusto do. I already can think of a lot of possible ways we might take it, both logistically, thematically, which sorts of things each of us might be putting into the gumbo, the thing that is different from what either of us would do independently, and yet somehow subsumes and transfigures both of our inputs into something that is, at this point, unpredictable. Greater than is likely something we can say, what we would do independently. You know what I would do independently? I would do some kind of like tinkering with knobs stream, where I play around with the sounds for like an hour or so. And I'd probably start with the bass of this F sharp beat. I think the bass sounds pretty good, actually. It's a little loud there. Here, let me. There's a little bit of like overdrive in it. Not overdrive, but the word I'm looking for. It's not exactly clipping. Right there. Maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining it literally. Because it's not there in the second round of the bass. I have a what is this, vibrato? And I had the vibrato on, and I turned it down to a purer bass. And the purer bass is the one that's right there, getting a little loud. But that must be my performance of it, because I'm making it a purer tone, not a like distorted wavy tone. So for now, I think I'm happy with the bass as is. Yeah. Let's go on to the next one. Like I said, this palette is one of my favorites. I think I'm okay with this one too, question mark? If I really am okay with all of these, I'm gonna very quickly rebuild it. Well, I guess I'll do some panning and output effects first. Make sure those are good. Save it, save my changes. Rebuild another beat real fast. But yeah, I don't know what you call this other layer, but the bass on this other type of instrument, pretty happy with it, question mark? I see there's a lot of chats I need to get caught up on in here. By the way, for everyone else who does streaming, as a perhaps interesting aside, if you're into things like your studio setup, I recently redid mine. I just like moved everything around and moved furniture and things to make it centered around the convenience of my streaming. And it's really good. It's a big improvement, let me say that. It's a big improvement. One of the improvements I did, and this is why I bring this up now, just like a little aside. I know many of you already do this. So this is just like a, oh, you know, if you never thought about this, FYI. But one of the things I did in my studio rebuild was that I made it very easy for me to take one of my monitors and turn it from lengthwise to tall-wise. I think it's landscape is what you usually look at your monitor with. And then you could change it to portrait. I think those are the proper words. So now, here's what I'm building up to. Now during a stream, if you're considering things like your studio setup, I have a much greater length of chance to see and keep up with. It's at least twice as much as before, so I can see further into the past. Garen. Synthseeker clarifies Garen is the pronunciation. Synthseeker says maybe I'll do a side documentary of the collaboration process. I am so glad. I am so glad to hear that you're suggesting that. Even if in jest you suggest that. That would be the best, man. I would throw some kind of festival and celebrate watching that and what the hell it would take to get the collaboration going. I was actually hoping that someone would say that. Like, let's make a side meta project about the fact that we're collaborating. So, I hope you and or someone else does that as well. I definitely should test. Here, let me rebuild this bass. I'm sitting here saying that I'm comfortable with it, but it's a little loud. Let me make sure it's just the volume on the performance. I'll rebuild a new bass here. Did that because you may have noticed at the end of it, it's once again clipping. That actually is a little clipping in there. The other one was like, I'm not sure, is it clipping? This one, there is actually some clipping in there. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is something in the bass that needs to be edited. I'm glad I did this. Take that past me. Alright, so I'm gonna go into this bass, my friends. I think I have a suspicion about it is. So, okay, another thing that I said I would do. I said I would tell you how the layers are built. It's gonna be very 505 heavy. But in 505 lingo, this bass is built out of a bass, a guitar to bass, which is like that's what they all are. All of my basses anyway, they all have the guitar to bass. Then the electric, which is the auto tuner. This is again how most of my basses are, although sometimes the sequence is a little different. But this one built on guitar to bass, the electric auto tuner, then a sustainer, which is mostly just a volume level boost. That is probably where the distortion is coming in. And then on top of that is where I have the vibrato, or vibrato, or vibrato. Probably not vibrato. Get the vibrato! Dude, there isn't enough vibrato on it. I need some more vibrato. Clang, clang, clang. So I gotta redo the bass. It's probably not in the vibrato, because I didn't have that on very much, if at all. If anything, maybe somehow the vibrato is like muting, and when I go to the purer bass tone, that seems to be where the distortion is coming in. Tracker Jack says, I'm down with that vertical monitor thing too. It's good for text-based, this and that, which I agree with. I like using a text-based UI in my computer interface. Tracker Jack says, ... anything text. Steve is here. Yes. Welcome, Steve. You made it. It's so good. We're trying to figure out my bass right now, Steve. Oh, man. Wabbit's here as well. Friends, we were talking about the collaboration project earlier. It's going to be really nice. But my bass here, like I was saying, I think it's the sustainer that's doing the bringing that distortion in. So that should be an easy fix. Let me see. Let me go into the bass here and turn the sustainer down and see if that fixes it, which it probably will. So that's not perfect, but it's not clipping like the other one was, the other version. So what I did here, again in very 505 heavy parlance, there was some gain on the sustain. So the sustain has multiple levels of gain in it. There's like a net gain, but then there's also a low and a high. The high on the bass was up to like positive 4 dB or something. So I took that down to 0. And I think I'm going to redo the bass yet again, just to confirm it's still good. But I think that was probably a big step in the right direction. So let's see, friends. Man with Beard is in the place. Yeah, that's good. I like it. Let's confirm this bass, my friends. Let's still a bit loud, but I still think that's my performance, not the sound. So let's see. I hope you like me clear my throat directly into the mic instead of doing something like this, which would be a little less of me putting my cough directly into your ears and life. What I'd rather put into your ears and life is an improved bass sound. You deserve that in your face now. How am I going to be holding back on that? All right. I think I've confirmed. The bass still has a little bit of crackliness to it. But I again chalked that up to my performance. I did take the sustain down even a little bit more on that. And there also is a little bit of character, I think, because it's not like this sustained clipping. It's just like one little noise here or there. So that's good. I also said earlier I was comfortable with these sounds. Do I still like them? I think yes. So there's like a little bit of a gnarly bass on this one. I think my bass seems to be working better like that, in like bursts of some kind of bursts of gnarl. Got some bursts of gnarl. Go get your friend Carl. He'll want to snarl at it. And that is a fact. If you ask him, he'll be like, yeah, man, if you ever had a doubt about it, let me clarify now. If you would let me get ready, it'll pop your head if you're not, see? That's why I warn you. Of course, to open up the doors for the next level of your perception. Get your head in the right mind frame and get ready to download now, yo. Coming now, so dope with the sounds low. So the next beat after that then, or the next instrument, is this one. I haven't touched it yet on the stream today. This one also, I mean, like I said, this whole palette was one of my favorite palettes. So I think this one is in pretty good shape. I can think of one or two small things I might do to this. Let's see. Synthseeker says, oh man, I can't improvise words. I'm forcing myself to. Because I can sometimes freestyle and go like, I mean, literally 20 minutes straight of freestyle that is like very, very comparable to my written in the complexity, like 2 or 3 levels of simultaneous co-occurring rhyme patterns. And I could just go on like that 10, 15, 20 minutes sometimes in a freestyle. But I can't go there at will. I don't know what the secret lever is to turn that on. And I'm forcing myself to open doors into hell. I'm scared of getting excoriated, but I'll tell of my journey there. Yo, my words is where you can catch the whole map, and you heard it. And there was something enlightening. Check it, my rhymes would bring something like that, and I would sing on top of that too. Check it, that is what lit the fuse. So I'm forcing myself just to do like, you know, literally 2 bars at a time, 4 bars at a time. Just do it a little bit. Check it, of course I would rhyme, and it'd be nice. That was like, what, half of a bar? Do it. Do it. Forcing myself. So going back to this layer here that I'm now moving to next, the second layer of synth sounding things. This one here. Like I said earlier, I think I'm pretty happy with it. There might be a small tweak or two I could make. I see others are joining in the chorus of like, yeah, improvising words is hard. Yeah. And Trusto says, yeah, but Recon is good. Well, you made me blush. Look at my smile you put on my face. Thank you. That's good. I accept your compliment. Steve says, man, I want to hear your vocals on that collab. That's part of what Trusto and I are going to discuss. We're having a Zoom today. It's going to be cool. It may. I don't know, be productive. So I'm going to go check out this instrument, my friends. I think it's pretty good. I can think of 1 or 2 small tweaks. So let's see about those small tweaks in addition to all the other things going on, because it's always got to fit in with everything else. By the way, I didn't reveal the magic of how these are built. That was something I said I'm going to start making a habit out of. Is just saying how these are built up, how these sounds and things. So this one here, this is 2 layers. Here's 1 layer. This is built up out of starting with a distortion, such vocal distortion. Playing around with some settings in there. A vocal distortion on top of it, throwing the electric, which is the auto tuner. And then a vibrato. It's not, I know it's not vibrato. Vibrato. I would have not thought that in the X-Men comics that it's Magneto either. Although if you're into engineering, you know that's actually a thing. Comics didn't make that up. But I don't even really know what it is. I just know of it because I like comics. So anyway, I had a vocal distortion electric, the auto tuner, vibrato on top of that, and then a reverse delay. That's what these have on them, a reverse delay. Oh, it's so dope. The Mark II has so many dope additional things beyond what the Mark I has. Man, it's really for anybody who's into looping, and that's why you're joining us, because you're like down with loop, 505 looping stuff. If you have only a Mark I and you're wondering, you're like, should I go get the Mark II? It seems good. I don't know. If you're wondering like that, just know that regardless of timelines, regardless of what your life might bring to you and when it does it too, the destiny that you're getting to, regarding whether it would make sense, just a yes and no question. Don't stress too much about it, friend. Would it be worth it to get the Mark II? Yes, it would. Yes. The answer is yes. Now again, the timeline, those are things that you work out for yourself. Steve says we need more vibrato. By the way, for my people who are live in the chat, and also for my people who are joining us after the live stream, watching us on replay, I'm just curious. I mentioned a moment ago that I made a reference to Magneto and comics, and I said I'm into comics. Who else is into comics? I don't expect it's necessarily any percentage of you if you're joining us, but I'm interested on who is. Now, there's another thing I know that you're into, regardless of whether you're into comics. I know one thing that you like and you want and you look forward to, and that is the affirming cheers moments that you long for. Grab your drink, my friend. We're doing this. We are gonna do a very affirming cheers moment. You are going to be doing this along with the rest of us. You're going to feel so together. This is the first official cheers moment of the stream. We did a practice one earlier, but now this is the real one. This is the real deal. This is where it's like, now you're gonna really feel it. Grab a drink, my friends. I got my water. You belong here. And join us in feeling that. Join us in feeling it in your body. You can literally feel it. Friends, I'm going to count to 3, and we're going to do this. You're going to have this really warm knowledge that you're welcomed here. And furthermore, you are nourished. You are nourished, my friends. 1. The cheers is coming so soon. You know all of the rest of us. We want you here, friends. 2. The cheers is coming so soon, my friends. Look how you feel about this. You feel together with us. It comes like this. Free! Clink. Cheers, my friends. I love that. I love coming together with you like this. Man, that's so good. Please like this video. Please subscribe. To our friends who are joining us on replay, thank you for joining us in the cheers along with us and feeling the magic with us. The cheers transcends space and time. You are every bit as much here with us as those of us live, feeling the heat and warmth live in action. To our friends in the year 7,708. Thank you for being with us. We feel you too. I see some comic-related updates in the chat right now, which I'd be interested in. I'm curious about this. I see Synth Seeker has a large collection of trade paperbacks. Ooh. I need to re-get my copy of Final Crisis, because I spilled some water on it once when I was on a plane. I had it in my backpack, and an old version of this water bottle that you see me cheers with, but it was like kind of broken and old, and it spilled water all over my backpack. And the last like maybe 50 pages or so of my trade paperback of Final Crisis are all distorted and like faded. You can still, get through the story if you know it, but it would not be a good experience if you didn't know the story. So I should just get a new copy of it. Steve says, I used to read my friends' graphic novels. I'm wondering if I'm parsing that English correctly. Do you mean like you used to read the graphic novels that belong to your friends? Or do you mean like, I used to read graphic novels to my friends? I can parse it both ways like that. Tracker Jack grabbing some coffee, which is pretty awesome. See, more cheers coming through the chat as well. Crazy Wabbit doing it. Steve's also shouting out our friends in the year 7,708. That's my man right there. And he's your man as well. That's the best part. Because here's what's going to happen in the future. You ready for this? A lot of times when people think of the future, they're like, oh, let's extrapolate. If we take for granted that there will be net growth, there'll be struggles and battles and wars and all of this, but overall, humanity will ultimately keep evolving and moving forward. If we assume that, then what will the future look like? A lot of times it's going to be the kind of things you see people extrapolate are like, oh, look at this advanced technology. Look at this car. They're like, look at this really advanced car. Just imagine the boats we'll have. This boat, this particular boat, it's so advanced in the future. Just imagine the kind of boat we'll have. This kind of boat, it can go in more than just water. This boat can go into outer space. We're going to be so advanced with our technology. It's going to be like our existing technology, but like turned up a lot. Usually that's what you hear. And that's how many people operate in their imagination. They take their existing, corpus of awareness and draw straight lines, like a sun, radiating out from them to the thing they perceive. Straight line. Here's how it will be more awesome relative to me. That's usually what you hear. Friends, it's possible that the future will bring more than just greater efficiency on existing technology. It's possible that there could be entirely different fields of endeavor, human endeavor, entirely different fields, entirely different directions we might move in, entirely different ways of imagining things that don't come through just straight lines. And so our friends in the year 7708 they have all sorts of practices, levels of their awareness, things that they do with awareness itself, using awareness as raw materials. Seeing it as an appendage, something to manipulate and develop disciplines with. And so as I offer my current entirety of my creative expression here in this year, I humbly say, may it be used through the awareness of our friends in the year 7708. I don't know exactly what they're gonna do with it. But look how beneficial it is my point. They're joining us on these cheers moments. That's good. We don't know how awareness works here in the modern day. Here at the end of 2024. We barely have the slightest sophisticated knowledge of what awareness is, let alone how it works, let alone things like how it is varied in its physics across different dimensions, like my own awareness, awareness between a conversation partner, awareness on a societal level. We have no knowledge of this, and yet they exist. They exert forces in nature. And most most average person, plays a very, very passive role on those dimensions, where awareness itself is the primary variable. You are hearing this because that's something you're ready to hear. And I'm ready to hear this sound. Again, I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't get to the point of making small manipulations with it, but I'm going to do that now. All right. I made a very small tweak to it, and I think it is a little it's a little neater, which this type of instrument is meant to be. Some of my layers, some of my instruments I make in my palettes are meant to be like a little sloppier, a little fuzzier. They're meant to be like background, reverby, extended tones. But this one's supposed to be a little more prominent, so it should be a little neater. So here's what I did to get into the 505 lingo again, which I'm making a point to give you as part of the value you get from these very exciting tinkering with knob streams. This one is built in a weird way in terms of the sequence of the instrument or the input effects. This one is built really out of sequence from how I would do it if I did it today. So this probably stems back to a time when I was just, barely slapping things together randomly. It starts with the electric, which is the auto tuner. That's pretty rare. Usually I put the electric second, after the main voice. So this is tuning my raw voice, and then it feeds it into a step slicer, which you can hear a little bit at the end of the loop. At the end of each half of the loop, actually. You hear it there. So it goes electric, and then the step slicer, and then it feeds it into a radio. That was the one I tried to tune down a little bit, but I discovered that was not actually the culprit. So I put it back to a full radio, which is actually the best, in my opinion, the best use of it. And then I fed it into a sustainer once again. This one has a lot of sustainers in it. And the sustainer I once again just took back a little bit. disabled the high gain. I took it down a few, I forget how many. And the low gain, I think I took down 2 dB. So overall, it's a little better, I think, this instrument here. Still has the same character. It's just less, I guess, loud. Talking about loudness as a thing that's different from volume. So these all, I think, go together nicely, although there's a little space I can see. What does this one fit in? What's this other one? The final instrument in this palette, my friends. This one also I'm pretty happy with. I do want to do some things with the panning in this. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm happy with the way that sounds. Just the instrument itself. I'm going to move on to panning. I'm going to do some output effects. Wipe everything, save it. Rebuild a beat. If I'm still happy with it and there's no more tweaks, then you and I are going to do one of those C, H, E to the E, E, R, S. That's when our hearts get entwined in a very healthy and enhancing way. But let's check out some panning first. Starting with the drums. Lots of chats I'm getting caught up on here. The drum looper usually goes really fast. Those of you who are regulars to the Tinkering with Knobs streams, you know that the lower looper usually doesn't need a lot of attention. It's very simple. I use this one for atonal things, so it's usually just percussion mostly, but some other things that don't have a melody or anything like that. It's the top looper that usually takes a long time. This is where the whole hour-long live stream comes from. Plus a lot of having fun interacting together with you. Right now my kick drum is panned way too far to the left. It was panned 6% to the left. Going 4% feels like the absolute upper limit of too much. The kick has to be pretty close to the center. In fact, why don't I make this one the center? Because in all of the... Is it all of them? I think all of the palettes that I've done since this round of starting. I think they've all had just like one or two little bits off to left and right for the kicks. For the kick. I don't think I've made the kick the center yet. So that's what this one is. Bam, did it. The snare clap layer. It's 8% to the right. So I got center kicks, 8% to the right for the snare. I think it's pretty good there. I got the hi-hats and the exhale. Exhale is at 16% to the left. That's the only left so far. I moved it to 18. I'm going to leave it there. The hi-hats are at 24% to the right. 8% with the claps there. I'm going to move the clap in. With the clap into 6, I think this is pretty good. It's very right leaning, very right heavy. But then I moved out the left to counterbalance it a little bit. It would be an interesting shape if I had like something I'd drawn real quick to show you. Like something that balances in a way that, you know, isn't visually symmetrical. Anyway, bringing that bass in. You just want to take it in. All right, we got center on the bass. That was known. If it wasn't center, I was going to make it be the center. Now we got kick drums and the bass on the center in this palette. Then we go into these, my favorites. The template is 15 and 15. Are these still in the template settings? 15, 15, yes, okay. Which is really percent of 30. So this is 30% to the left, 30% to the right. These aren't bad. Because they're such a clean sound, I think it works to keep them perfectly balanced. But even though that works, you really think I'm not gonna like mess with that? I just told you that the percussion was already like this weird intuitive imbalance, or I should say it's an unintuitive balance. So I'm gonna drag out the left a bit here. 38 maybe, I'm going to versus 28. Yeah. Oh, bringing the clap back in, it really emphasizes it. If you are listening on headphones, you're getting the most out of this very subtle panning. You know what I've never done? Especially since so many of us right now in the live chat are artists. You may have done this. And you also may be inspired to contribute to the collective wisdom from which we all might be nourished. Have you ever done any kind of testing or maybe been directly educated on how panning, the perception of panning when you're not listening on headphones? So like if I'm listening on my laptop, let's say, or if I'm listening on a device that doesn't have a left and right channel, it's like forced into mono. What is the overall perceptive or perception impact on the perception of something being panned? Intuitively, I feel like if it's panned very far to the left, but you don't have a panned device, that you might hear it, but it'll be quiet. But I'm curious if you have any more, especially to my artist friends, or people who are producers. Maybe you're not yourself an artist technically, but you do a lot of production. You have a lot of audio knowledge. What do you say about that topic? The effect of panning on loudness perception when you're not using a stereo device to play the audio. I think Crazy Wabbit has got the answer. He says it depends on whether pants are being worn. Your pan-can score, high or low, you might know the direction it gets in when you try to L-O-O-K at it. Such as, if you look at my pants right now, Wabbit, I got them on. It's pretty nice. That worked out tight. So given that I got my pants on, panning to the max. So I got some nice, subtly evolved panning here. And it's only a little bit, you know, a couple percent, 5 to 10% here and there. I'm moving these. But this one, the new one I brought in, this is one of the like more prominent ones. I was talking about how it has to be cleaner earlier. These I usually pan harder. So right now it's at 80%. That's the template. And I was talking earlier about how there's this precarious balance, this unintuitive balance in the drums, where they seem to be leaning to the right. There seems to be like an openness, a gap, missingness in the left, and I'm compensating a little bit. Now how do I further compensate here? I think I'm going to bring it in from 80% actually. I think that's a little too much. I think I might have brought it in too much there. I took it down to 62. Yeah, I think that's a little too much. I'm moving it up to 68. How about a solid 70? A clean 70. I don't know. I think I'm going 72. I can only go 2% at a time. 72. I think this might be it here. I got to bring in the other layer too and balance it with that. Bring that in for it's also 80%. The template puts it at 80% out for both of these extreme channels. So this one I'm going to bring in also. I think that's too far. Let's see, this one I got at 72. This one on, whoops, wrong level. I think this one might come in a fair amount. Maybe this was the one. Oh, yeah. All right, here, look. Yes. Oh, that's it. Good, good. All right, this one I brought into 62. I had tried to bring this other extreme from left side. Tried to bring that one in, and it was not really working right. But the one that was more on the other side here, the extreme right end of this one I dialed back, and that is coming in very beautifully right here. That one is now at 62% to the right. That's good. This is a nice balance here. It's still twisted a little, which is nice because it reminds me of my spine. I have back-related issues that I have to constantly be straightening myself out, strengthening very specific targeted muscular areas. And this song reminds me of that. A lot of the randomness in what I create draws parallels to things like that, like little chronic irregularities that, I gotta move my hips in this way. So the panning, I think, is in pretty good shape. I'm gonna listen one more time with everything on just fully in. I got some pomegranates, by the way. If Wabbit, if you got any of yours. So I think, yes, I am still happy with these. Still happy with these layers here. Still happy with the panning. Thank you again for being here for all this. I love chatting with you. It's good that I can leave things, turn them on and off, let time pass while we talk about stuff. And then bring it back in and see, am I still okay with it? Or did I change my mind from 10 minutes ago when I first said I was okay with it? So now that I'm good with the inputs, that's the primary thing that I do in these tinkering with knob streams. Make sure the sounds, the sounds, the reverb, the input effects, that all sounds good. That's the primary one. That's sounding good here. I'm happy with these. Then there's also the panning, which I've just gone through all the panning. Final thing is the output effects. Although I could do output effects and panning in either order, I guess. Panning's probably better to do first, actually, now that I'm thinking through that and talking through it out loud. Panning's probably better. Maybe I'll do that from now on. Make a point to do panning second and the output effects last. Well, let's do some output effects, my friends. If you regularly are here for the Tinkering with Knob streams, you know that the output effects on the drum looper goes very fast. There's very, very little to configure. But let's double check. All right, that's good. That's such a cool effect. It's so perfect for the drum. There are some things like that they work better on the drums versus the melodic layers, or vice versa. My favorite low-pass filter, configured exactly like I want it. So there you go, friends. Very fast going through the drum output effects, very little to deal with. But then there's the final one, which sometimes does vary a bit. So let's see. Okay, we got a reverb on this. Just kind of randomly. Most of them are reverb. Some of them, instead of a reverb, I put a delay on it, which is trickier, which is why I don't do it like on half and half, delay and reverb. It's trickier and rarer to get the delay to, bring enhancement, bring value to the improv beat. But reverb is like, always, yeah, you always throw reverb on that. Some beats don't really work right with a delay. Anyway, the reverb. Yeah. The reverb is very simple on the Mark I. Yeah, I'm happy with it. So the lower looper is good. We got 4 output channels on the upper looper. 2 of them are going to go really fast because they're the same as the lower looper. I synchronize them like that so that it's easy for me. It's just one less thing to think about. All the artists here who do improv or freestyling or whatever you call it. What other words do people use? Improvise, freestyle. For my artists who do any of that kind of stuff, you know that while it is cool, like no one's going to disagree, it is cool to have absolutely no restrictions at all. And then just like get with it and make just the dopest eternal work of art. That is cool. Nobody is going to argue with that. But all my improv artists know that when you do have some kind of like a couple of simple things set up as guardrails, like you're doing it in F sharp. There you go. That's one variable that you're doing it in F sharp. when there are certain things that are decided, you're improvising within limitations, within a framework. Artists who do that understand how that's, you know, you could argue whether you'd say it's freeing, liberating. We could argue about whether you'd quite go that far. But certainly it opens something. It gives you a channel to put your creative flow into. And so there's this element. This is what the improv artists know. There is also this like meta art to deciding which variables to constrict. And so here I'm constricting that the first two levels, the first two output effects in my top looper are generally the same as the first two effects in my bottom looper. Yeah, I could make them all different and everything's random every time. But when I'm improvising, I'm more interested in the beat and you know, maybe even lyrics if I'm doing it. I don't want to have to worry about like, wait, what's the output effect going to be? It's like, I already kind of know. It's one fewer thing to dedicate conscious, intentional focus. One fewer thing. And thus channel my creativity more effectively. These are the kinds of things that my people in the year 7,708, like this is kindergarten stuff for them. And I can't even imagine the levels that they will climb to, what they'll build. First two output effects, they're exactly what I expect them to be. Look how easy we just cruised through that. Now we got the last two output effects. We got reverb. What kind of reverb? Ooh, a gate reverb. Let's listen. Clean. This is clean. No reverb. Now turn it up. Definitely could feel all that. That's pretty heavy. Now you can control how heavy it is on the dial in a sense, but I kind of would like. I'm gonna cut out some more low end on that. Oh, that's already sounding better. Default input level I turned up a little bit too. On the reverb itself, not the instruments. I'm gonna turn up some pre-delay. It has some pre-delay, but not a lot. I'm gonna isolate just one layer as well for this. Let's just listen. Pretty good. Oh, there it is. I was changing the threshold here. Let's try this other layer. This is dry. Okay, bring in the reverb here. Totally. Yes. That's good. That's a good length and everything too. Listen to how long it lasts. Good. That's a good length. Nice. Yeah, the reverb sounds good here. All right, good. The fourth and final output layer, usually I put a slicer there. If not a slicer, a tremolo or tremolo. It's got a slicer this time. I like the slicer. It's one of my favorites, honestly. Honestly, I'm being honest. If I could be honest with you, can I be honest? I'm just gonna be honest. Honestly, I really like the slicer. And in one of my recent Tinkering with Knobs streams, I was talking about, I forget who I was talking with this. Was this Tracker Jack? I forget who I was talking to about. Who I was talking with about this. But the slicer. And that I go through and I program the actual levels of the slicing, which you can't do on the lower looper. But on the top looper, I discovered you can do that. Man, that is cool. I can control the slicing itself. Yeah, this one is set nice. This has a consistent shape where it's like high, a dip, and back up again, dip. So it's kind of like a dip in the slice, this flow. Perfect. That's exactly what I would have wanted to put in, honestly. How does it sound full blast? One of the things that you can look for in in most of my songs, when I'm doing improv beats and things, I usually don't apply the output effects onto the bass. I like to keep the bass in there as like a continuity of the song, in addition to the drums. So right now we got everything on and the slice. I think it's pretty good. Another thing I always have to check with the slicer, and for anyone who uses the 505, you might also experience this, and I'm very curious how you resolve this, because I do not have a good general approach. It's always a case by case, it takes a while fiddling with it. But how do I get the slice? Okay, it's working that time. The slicer has a bunch of different volume levels on it, and sometimes if you put the net gain, it's called here, just the gain. If you put that too high, then it sounds like, here, I'll even show you. It's set to +2 right now, and I think that's sounding pretty good. But watch what happens if I set it. Oh, like you can see already. As I turn the slicer on and off, you can hear the volume level leap. I shouldn't do that. So I'm turning it back to what it was, because that seemed to be a pretty good level. All right, my friends, speaking of pretty good levels, I think everything is good at this time. So that means that I'm going to destroy everything suddenly, like a monk with a sand mandala. I'm going to take everything and destroy it real quick. I've already destroyed all my drums. Destroy everything in the melodies and bass layers. I'm going to save everything and rebuild the beat real quick, make sure I'm still happy with this palette. So let's do it, my friends. Let me do a quick save everywhere. Here comes saving. Let's save this one. Good. Saving. Sometimes this one gives me a problem saving. It's like it thinks something is running, and it's hard to tell it like, hey man, nothing's running. You're all in the clear to save. So it usually works, but sometimes that happens. You might witness that on a stream. Let's get this one saved. All right, did it. So now, again, my friends, I'm going to quickly rebuild a beat and make sure I'm still good with the palette as it sounds. Let's do it. By the way, I see Don is in the place. Welcome, Don. My man, I didn't shout you out earlier. Thank you for joining us. My friends? The answer is yes, I'm still pretty happy with this. I don't think this is the best beat I've ever made. So I'm not saying I'm thrilled with the beat itself, but the sounds, just the textures and things, I think I'm pretty happy with all of that still. So this is good. This has been a successful Tinker with Knobs stream. Thank you for being here, my friends. You know what we have to do now, how we have to celebrate in celebration of this very successful Tinker with Knobs stream. You know what we got to do. Grab your drink. We are having our final cheers moment, our unifying, affirming that you are in the right place and we are all just all doing good things for each other stream moment here with this cheers. It's many things at once. Friends, here it comes. I'm counting to 3 and we're going to do this. Whatever you might be doing a cheers with, that's your prerogative. Friends, I'm counting to 3. Join us all. Here it comes. We're doing it on 1. The first piece was 1, my friends, but you know after that, it keeps building up. You got your anticipation, because 2. This is just going to be so good, this cheers moment. You can feel it. You can feel it. You know how satisfying it's going to feel. How good, my friends. Here it comes, my friends. It's coming. It's so good. Yes, here it comes, my friends. Yo, we're doing it on 3. Clink. Cheers, my friends. Oh, that's so good. Here in the live chat, I see a lot of affirmative thoughts coming in. This has been a fun stream. I agree. I've been having a great time with this. It's so good. I love doing this with you. If you have not yet liked this video, please like this video. For our friends who are joining us in a way that transcends space and time, joining us on replay after the stream, please leave a comment. What did you like? What did you like about today's stream? Friends, I hope to see you on the next Reconsider It live stream. My regulars know that there are 2 categories of live streams that I do, which I will now recap as we close out today's live stream. My regulars know there's Tinker with Knobs like today. And there is the Loops and Chill, unlike today. This Tinker with Knobs stream, that's where we just hang out for an hour. Looks like we got up to an hour and a half today. It's unpredictable. And we literally just tinker with things, making things sound better. There's no schedule, there's no plan, there's no firm approach. There's a lot more interacting with you in real time. It's much more of a hangout in the studio session. That's the Tinker with Knobs, like this stream. But my regulars know there's a separate category as well. There's also the Loops and Chill stream. Loops and Chill is more like at the venue doing a performance. Loops and Chill is like I'm actually doing a show. I'm actually doing songs. And that's an hour of just one beat after another. Loops and Chill streams. We do those on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And the Loops and Chill, you can look at my About page for the times for those. Those are predictable. The Tinker with Knobs, those are sporadic and unpredictable. That's whenever I've got an hour and I want to go live. You gotta, just catch me for that. Many of my regulars turn on notifications for that so that they know when that's happening. However you make it to the next stream, my friends, we're gonna love having you there. And until then, please have a very good rest of your day today. Please let the rest of your day take you to entirely new levels. Please let the rest of your day today enhance you in multiple ways. Please let today bring you lots of healing. Please let the rest of your day today bring you enlightenment. Please let the rest of your day bring you relaxation as well as strengthening. Even though they seem like opposites, they are in fact complementary. My friends, please have a very fantastic rest of your day today, and I will see you in the next Reconsider It live stream.